Hi, my name is Nikki, and I'm the mother of a 5-year-old awesome double amputee named Kayden Kinckle. And I love to tell his story and to inspire people about his life, which they said he would not make it, but we proved everyone wrong. And I want you all to step out on faith with me and check out my story.
Everybody, I'm Rae-Shan, and yes, I am back once again with another episode of I Ain't That Chick, and we are about self-empowerment, self-awareness, and self-respect, because I'm a firm believer that every woman has a story, and women empower women when we share our stories. So I just want to start out and encourage you guys to go check out our other episodes at iaintthatchick.com. Click on our TV tab, and I guarantee you will find a story that's going to empower you. So let's get into this and get started. I do have another fantastic guest with me today. You've already introduced yourself, but please tell our audience who you are again.
My name is Nikki.
See, y'all, she just made it plain. Her name is Nikki. So Nikki has a fantastic story that she's going to share with us, and you heard a little bit about it in her intro. So Nikki, first of all, thank you for being a guest on I Ain't That Chick. I appreciate you, love. And you mentioned you, like a lot of women, you were pregnant. And you had a baby, you're gonna have a baby. So take me through the steps of that. You got pregnant and the doctors gave you some advice or told you what was going on with your pregnancy.
Right, I worked in the medical profession for about 15 years.
Okay.
So I pretty much know how everything went along. I was in a GYN office, so I know the procedure, what tests you have to take and different things like that. So I went for my ultrasound and I noticed, they were looking a little bit funny. It was taking a little bit longer than usual.
Okay.
Called in another technician and things like that. And I found out that my son has something called an umbilical.
Okay, say that again for me.
Umbilical.
Okay, what is that?
When you have major organs on the outside of your body.
Okay.
So for him, it was his bladder, his liver, his intestines, and his spleen.
Where were you when the doctors told you that?
On the table having an ultrasound.
Yeah, man. So what was your first thought?
I really didn't know. I never heard of anything like that, but
Okay.
I assumed it could be fixed.
Okay. Was this your first baby, your first pregnancy?
Oh no.
No, okay.
I have 4 older children before him.
See, y'all, we look good. That everything looks good. Okay, so this was like a shock. Did you think okay, how did this happen? Because it didn't happen with any other.
No.
Well, how did it happen with any of your other pregnancies?
No, and it's nothing hereditary. So, and it wasn't my age. It wasn't anything like that. It just says something that happens. And
Okay.
I thought it could be fixed, or later on we was going to discuss something else. And when I went back to my doctor, he recommended that I had a termination of pregnancy, and he told me to call him when I needed my referral to go get one done.
So, okay, 2 questions, or a question and a statement. First of all, he didn't give you any options. He just suggested that you abort your baby, and that was it.
Right. He said usually children with umbilicals have a lot of other problems, so that was his recommendation to me. Is just terminate the pregnancy, and like he said try again. That's what he said.
What is that? First of all, how far along in your pregnancy were you when the doctor told you this?
Almost 4 months.
Almost 4 months. So, when the doctor just get rid of your baby and try again, what is that? What was your response to him or her?
Well, I just shook his hand and I just left.
You just left.
I wanted to speak with my bosses. I didn't. I wasn't using my bosses when I went for my pregnancy, because I just found out, and then I didn't want them to know yet because it was my job, you know. So I went and talked to them, and one of the doctors was familiar with it, but I decided to still have other tests to see what was going on with the baby, and I left that doctor and went to a different one.
Okay.
I didn't go back to him anymore.
And what did the other doctor say?
Well, they were okay with it. It was when I used to go get my ultrasounds, the people there would look at me funny, or I would hear like, "Oh, she's here again," and the follicle was getting bigger. I later found out that he wouldn't have an abdominal wall. So what they were nervous about is the umbilical cord is flowing freely now. So they said it could wrap around his neck, or he might be stillborn because there's no attachment there.
So there was nuts, like his stomach was just open?
Yes. Just all his organs were right there. The stomach wasn't closed
at all. Okay. Did the doctor ever say, like, didn't say why, like how this happened? Why?
No, and I mean, I researched and Google, and at the time, his father is adopted, so he doesn't have any of his background.
History, okay.
So I didn't, we didn't know where it came from. And I went to see genetics. I had amniocentesis, that test, and when they did that, they said everything was fine mentally, with him. And then as I was going to the ultrasounds, I could see him, So it's the same thing, like sucking his thumb, and
he was your baby,
right? You see all the movement, and and I call it harassment. Like they bothered me up until like the very day, like they called me on my phone and said, this is the last week, if you want to terminate the baby, and if I decide later I can only go, they said to the Dominican Republic, they do it as far as 6 months. Like they went far to tell me
that you can have an abortion up until 6 months or get rid of your baby. Did it ever cross your mind? Like, did you ever sit and weigh the pros and cons? Like, should I get rid of my baby?
No, I don't think so. Not after, seeing him on the screen and then getting the information, and it's upsetting at times, but if you're just looking at the child and seeing it, and I have pictures, I was really into church. My pastor was, he was preaching at the time a series about being faithful.
So, it gave me goosebumps.
So I was just trusting God about everything, and I talked to my mother, and my mother's like, I got your back. Whatever you want to do, I got you. If God says that's what, you're supposed to do, then you go with it. Like, I'm with you.
Did you have a quiet moment with God, and did God say anything to you about this?
Well, I had, a few incidents that I have, you have to be honest with yourself. I would go in the bathroom after the ultrasound and cry. I would cry and then get myself together. I'm like, I gotta walk out of here. They can't see me cry, So I had moments like that. It was the why, what did I do,
What did I do?
I'm a good mom. I take care of my kids. Why is this happening to me? That. And then I was riding on a trolley. We had a trolley name when I was going home. And it was me, and it's just the conductor, the guy that's driving. And I heard that everything's gonna be all right. So, and I know my face was down, so I looked over there at him, and he, he spoke to me, like, how you doing? So then I was like, all right, and I'm like, didn't he just say everything's going to be all right? That's what I'm thinking.
That's what the conductor said?
Yeah, he said to me, he's like, how you doing? And then I got off, and I'm walking up the hill, and then, I'm like, why he asked me how I'm doing? Didn't he just say everything's going to be all right? And clearly I heard who said that the guy driving, the conductor said it. And I heard it loud, like really loud. And I just started crying, as I'm walking up. And like when I speak, I say, it's a song that says, I'm so in awe with you, Lord, you leave me speechless. Because I was like, it wasn't the conductor that said it. That's why he asked me, how was I doing, So I just walked to my mother's house, and I'm just crying. I'm like, Ma, everyone don't think I'm crazy. That's what I'm saying to her. I'm like, Mom, don't think I'm crazy. I wouldn't lie, And I'm like, I heard God say it's going to be all right. She said, then you got your answer. Like, you don't have to worry about what people are saying. You have the answer.
That gave me goosebumps. Now you're married, right? How did your husband deal with this? Sometimes it's hard for men, to get a diagnosis.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, everything, was fine. A lot of times when I went to take my test, he was at work, but like when I had to do ultrasounds, that's during the day. But when I had, the bigger test, he was there, and he was really into church also.
Okay,
so,
that's a blessing.
Yeah, he was into church also, so, his same thing was, God got it, everything's going to be okay, you're going to be all right, So there's a lot of positive people around me, that's like, oh, just trust God, it's going to be okay, And I had to follow through with so many tests and, like, MRIs, different things like that I didn't even know, like, the baby could have, like, inside of me.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did an MRI, and we got to the point that after a while they told me they couldn't see his feet. So I'm like, I'm back to square one. I'm like, okay, God, they said the organs on the outside, but now you don't have no feet. What's going on? And I'm like, this is getting crazy. So I'm looking up things on the internet, which you shouldn't do. You know, I'm trying to find out what's going on, and come to find out his legs was pinned under my pelvic bone. And then later on, after I delivered him, the umbilical cord wrapped around the bottom of his legs. So it didn't wrap around his stomach like they thought. It wrapped around the bottom part of his legs. So they were deformed. Okay. And when his bones didn't grow. Because the cord. Now, had the cord not been wrapped around, the legs would have formed. Right. Okay. And the doctors didn't see that? They couldn't see him because it was, I guess, actually pinned underneath. Wow. So they said something called cleft feet. It might, but they really couldn't see. And I remember when I had the MRI, and I asked him, I said, did you see the feet? Like, he's like, why are you asking me that? He said, the child has an umbilical, it's getting bigger. He has major organs on the outside. His feet shouldn't be important. Yes, it should be. Yeah, but he was like, the umbilical was life-threatening. Okay. He was like, you should be more focused on that. So I'm like, okay. So then I was leaving, and I was calm because I'm like to the point I'm used to hearing bad news. So, it's whatever. And when I was leaving, he said to me, when you have your baby, he said, could you call me or come back here? And I was like, why? He was like, because I want to know why your faith is so strong. That's what the doctor said to you? Oh, you have to answer that. Well, just tell me right now, did you ever go back? No, well, I sent him Kayden's picture. Okay. Later on, when a lot of different things were going on with Kayden, I sent the actual Wow. Okay, so because your baby is just about a celebrity, but take me up to the point when you give birth and you hold your baby for the first time. What do you feel like? Well, it was for a while before I could hold him, and he was early. Okay. I was getting ready to do an event because I do poetry. Mm-hmm. So it's the the day of, it's in the middle of the night, and my water breaks. Mm-hmm. So I get scared because I'm like 6-7 weeks. I'm early. So now I don't know what's going on, and it's in the middle of the night, and I know nobody knows my story. I kept my records with me because I had to have a C-section. With his organs out, I couldn't have a vaginal delivery. Right. I was getting nervous. I was scared I was going to pass out. So when we got to the hospital, I'm trying to tell them, listen, this is what we have to do. Please call. Get my doctor here. And later on, it just came that since he was early, the follicle wasn't as big. Okay. Is what they thought. So that's a blessing. Yes, so it wasn't as threatening as everyone, thought. And when I had him, it was just like for a brief second, I guess I locked eyes with him and I looked, but they had to hurry up and, get him out of there and wrap him, right? So just coming down to see him, I was just anxious, and he was in an incubator, so all I could do is just touch his fingers, But it was hard because when I saw his legs. Okay. And one of them, his leg was bent back. So at first I just thought the whole bottom part of his leg was missing. So because you weren't prepared for that. Yeah, so that, kind of scared me. But I saw he had it kind of bent, and I saw his foot was backwards, different things like that. But, you lose focus when I looked at the face, and, he's breathing, his heart is pumping, and they said there was no problems there. So that's your baby. Yeah. So that's all the rest, I wrapped him up a little thing tighter around the bottom of his legs, and just stayed focused on him and loving on him. So now, what's going on? Tell us about your son that the doctors told you to get rid of. What kind of boy is he? He's awesome. He's he has a lot of confidence. He's strong. He's a go-getter. Handsome too. He is fine. He is fine. It's nothing he can't do. He just pushes so hard, and he tries. And I remember he started crawling, and we was like, "Oh my God!" it was such a shock, and just going up and down the steps. So it was different from when you have another child. Right. There's so many things that he could do. We took him to a doctor. I wanted to find out if his hips were okay and his spine. And it was fine. We went to 2 specialists. So the way the doctor said to me, you take away what you don't need. So he ended up having an amputation. First it was the right foot and the left leg. Okay. And it was working out. That's when he had a video, and it went viral. Michael Vick shared it. Nice. And he pushing his walker saying, "I got it." That was the first big thing. and it was all over the place. He was on every news station, all over. So that was a big thing, and the difference in it, that's when I was talking about the pictures in my book.
And I'm gonna because we got some more pictures. I'm gonna have to get up and get some pictures. I left some offset, but I'm gonna have to get up and get them.
The difference in it, people just saw a little boy with prosthetics and was like, oh, that's so cute, and they were having a fit. But the nurses that were at the hospital were getting in touch with me, and when I would pick up the phone, they were crying.
Why were they crying?
Because they saw what he looked like beforehand. Nobody saw, how his legs and feet look. And I kept his feet covered a lot of times when we go places. So nobody ever knew, But they knew what it looked like. I had the nurse that called me to ask me why I had shoes on his incubator. Because he stayed in the hospital for like 2 months. So when I put shoes up there, and I said, because he's going to walk, or the nurse that asked me, was my house wheelchair accessible?
Right, and was it?
No.
Because when you said he's going to walk, he's going to be like these other kids I got around here, and he's going to fall in line with them, and he's going to walk.
No, and it's not, and I mean, he has a wheelchair now that he has to ride in to go to school. Like, they want the lift, and they want, in case he gets tired.
Right.
But when he gets to school, the wheelchair goes in the corner and he walks around, he plays gym.
And he has the prosthetic legs. And what grade is he in now?
He's in kindergarten.
First of all, I just have to say, praise God. Because, when the doctor said no, God said yes. And God said it's going to be all right. And that's beautiful. Tell me what's your hardest moment, bringing him home and raising him, and your biggest triumph?
I think the hardest thing was, like I said, he had the right foot and the left leg, and one doctor recommended to do both of them up to the knees, and the other one said maybe we could try, his knee will be okay and it's fine, and I agreed with him, and I wanted to give Kayden the chance to have his full leg, and he tore his ACL, and the knee was smashed, and they said he would probably end up with more surgeries. He would tear it again and again, and then recommended the amputation. And that hurt the most because I felt maybe I should have did it in the beginning.
So he didn't have to go through that.
Take him through that again, then we had to start all over again with the prosthetics.
How did you have to encourage him or build him up? How did you strengthen him?
Just loving him. That was it. That was it, and just telling him, he could do it. I went to every physical therapy appointment he had, and I never waited outside. I went in with him, so I'm like, you could do it,
Mommy is right there.
Yeah.
Mommy's now who, because you're giving so much out and you're encouraging him and building him up, who's building you up?
When I write my things, I say all my strength coming from God. It's not me.
Praise God.
That's not me at all.
So now we got some stuff up here on the table, and because what I love that you have done, you have taken this, some people would say it's a tragedy, but you have taken a test and made a testimony or a story. And I want you to tell us you got some books here and a card. So what do you have? I want you to hold it up, tell us what it is, and show us.
Okay, the first book, this is the journey of Kayden Kinckle. The illustration is just awesome. They're from original pictures, and I actually have a grandson, so my grandson's in this picture with them.
So now, what inspired you? So you just said, okay, I'm going to write a book?
Right, exactly. Because he's doing everything other little kids could do, and I wanted people to know that he plays like everybody else. He sits, he watches TV. I explain, the amputation, the legs, him when he got his first pair of sneakers, and I'm just showing all the different things. Like, this is him with his walker, so he can still walk. I love this. And I have different things to show him what he can do. And I'm trying to get the book into the school system, right? Because Kayden doesn't go to a special needs school; he goes to a regular school. And this. First of all, Mama, give me some. Hats off to you, because this is his book, this is his story. Right. But not only just this book, and it's called I Got It. Where can people, pick up I Got It? Well, he has his own Instagram page. He has his own Facebook page. He's doing a lot better than some of us adults. So all the links are right on his page. And it says Kayden Kinckle. It's just his name. I didn't add anything onto it. and it's through PayPal.
Okay.
So you can always get his book.
And you didn't stop there at one book. You have another one.
This is called Stepping Out on Faith. And it's from the womb to the world. So,
say that again, please. Say that
from
again.
the womb to the world. So it talks about the pregnancy, everything I went through. Even being in church, I was in church. I was head of a dance ministry, and his dad was the head of Sunday school, and we weren't married. And then I was pregnant. And
I know that's a story in and of itself, because I know people are looking and the saints are saying stuff. And,
right. So, I wrote about that. I wrote about doing poetry, because I was doing poetry slams and different things like that. So being pregnant, and then I had to watch exactly what I was talking about or what I was going to say. Right. You can't look like a hypocrite while you're out there trying to minister. Yeah. Just the things I went through with people, the relationship with his dad, like with other women, things that they would say, people trying to interfere with their relationship, how to be strong, how to be a parent. Like I have four older children, and my older daughter, we found out she had diabetes during the time I was pregnant, and I wasn't telling my older kids what was going on with me or my pregnancy, because I didn't want them upset, and I didn't want anything to go wrong, and that it'd be out of hand. And my daughter's sugar level was over 800, and we rushed her to the hospital.
Jesus. Ooh.
So I had to write about that, glad that I was there, because they said if she went to sleep, she would have woke up.
God has a purpose. Woo! God has a purpose.
It was dealing with that, and, just all the way out to, it's like really stepping out on faith, the step you take, and the good things that happen.
Please tell everybody, this, y'all, can you see? It's like it's a card, it's a greeting card, right?
Right, and so that's the official picture from the video that went viral with me in back of him and him pushing that, saying I got it. That's the actual picture.
So can people order these? Can people order these cards? Like could you say like empowerment or encouragement cards? So can people order these and buy
all
these?
of that? That's on Kayden's. On Kayden's, and he also has his email is KAYEKINK@yahoo.com, and you can inquire about anything that he has. That is just a card of encouragement. It's a poem that I wrote, and I have another card line that's called Cherish Moments. So it has a lot of different cards on them as well. A picture is the Justice League, and it's all challenged children. I had a photographer, Mr. Rossi. He came from Puerto Rico, and just to take Kayden's picture.
Really?
He said he was inspired.
I'm gonna hold this one up while you hold that one up. Look at this. Look at Kayden, you guys. Look at this.
He said he was inspired by Kayden's story. His wife was wonderful, and they asked could they take Kayden's picture, and I just got a call. They sent me the picture, which is awesome.
Look at this. So what character is Kayden?
Cyborg.
He is Cyborg. And so all of the kids in the... First of all, you have to see none of this little girl right here, this little outfit. I don't know if y'all can see it, but that little one right there with that little cute outfit. And this is our Kayden. This is our baby right here in the middle. And this is all the children in this photo have a disability of some sort. Yes. But then in this photo, they have a strength. They got more than we got, y'all. And I think, so what's going on with this project?
Well, right now, I don't necessarily know what they're doing. It's all from Mr. Rossi. It's his project. Because a lot of people ask me, and I'm like, no, I have nothing to do with it. I'm just blessed,
beautiful.
That he let Kayden be a part of it, But his name is Josh, and it's Rossi. And he's a friend also on Kayden's page as well, if you want to see, because he does wonderful work. And it was inspired, if I'm not mistaken, by his daughter. His daughter has a picture. She's as Wonder Woman. Okay. That's what started it. She's not in here, but she started as Wonder Woman, and then he got the idea, and he used all these awesome kids and just put it together. And
you said your son has been. This has been on the news stations and everything.
Yeah, and on Kayden's page we share it. You could just put like the Justice League and Mr. Rossi. And it'll come up. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram.
Awesome.
It's all over the place.
So I want you to, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your story. But I do want you, because there is a mom that may be pregnant, or someone that's had a child, and their child may have this, or they may, they may run into this situation, what would you do when a doctor says no, but God says yes? What would you say to encourage a woman?
I would tell them to just be faithful. I know every situation is different. A lot of people try to base their situation on mine, and you can't. Every situation is different. And my thing was just to continue to pray. Continue to pray, just be faithful. And like I said to you, I have another book that's coming out that I'm going to do for next year, and it's called Silent Cries. And it's just based on different things we as women go through in our time when it's quiet and we're just crying. And there's so many other people that deal with these type of situations, from parenting, and just having your moments where you want to give up, and then it's just based on just being faithful and a whole lot of encouragement. And you don't need other people to say anything to you. You can just pray for yourself. Women think we need someone to build us up. As long as you're praying and you have your relationship with God, that will build you up and that will make you strong.
And even if your relationship falls a little stagnant sometimes,
that's right.
You just get up in there and you just, God, I need you. God, just talk to him.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I so appreciate you. Girl, you rock. You know what?
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping your baby. Thank you for being a woman of faith. Thank you for being a woman of faith. And thank you for keeping your baby. And I appreciate just how you took the situation and you didn't stop there. You making something out of it. Right. And then, you're just empowering and encouraging. Right. So we're going to say goodbye to our audience. Goodbye. Want to find out more about I Ain't That Chick? Visit our website at www.iaintthatchick.com.